We are going live. Let's wait for LinkedIn to come up. Josh is in an airport. I'm not going to pick on him because he would have to unmute. We might hear where we're going.
30
I still
seconds.
don't know what terminal we're in. Brian, behave yourself. There we
Will
go.
do.
Okay. Everybody wave hello. And thank you, Jordan. Everybody wave hello to LinkedIn, wave hello to Facebook, wave hello to YouTube, wave hello virtually to the Voice America Business Channel. Okay, Jordan, let's do it.
10 seconds to hear that feed.
And I'll take pictures after everybody, so don't go away. Too busy having fun.
All right, coming up to showtime. Sending you that feed. Have a great show.
Thank you.
Where does yesterday's future, which is already here, meet today's future, which is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes away? Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
C'est moi. That's me. It's Wednesday. We're here. We're live streaming. So excited about this show. Where else would I be on a Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern? Come on. It's been years and years and years. We're still predicting the future of now. And today is one of my very special topics. We're going to be showing as well as telling about the future of art and AI. Now, all of you artists out there, you human artists, don't get scared. We're not putting you out of business. We're just showing you what these brilliant people are able to do with some tools in their own art. So you're in for a treat. I hope Brian liked that. Brian just released a book about that, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So I want to say hello to my engineer, Jordan at Voice America, and hello to the wonderful voice who introduced me. And here we are. My guests have been on before recently, so when we do the bios in a few minutes, it'll be real short. We'll find out what they've been up to. So I'm going to say hello to Mary Nunaley, hello to Josh Cavalier, hello to Brian Sykes, hello to Adriana Rapolla, who has been traveling around the world to art museums, and she has a lot to tell us about that kind of art as well. So I'm going to do my opening poem, which I co-wrote with ChatGPT, and I did some human editing. Brian and Josh, I want you to know there's part of me in this. It's not all AI. So here we go. And then we'll do a quick intro from each guest. Upon the airwaves of technology revolution, where the future gleams bright, wait for the rhyme, Bonnie D and her Scarlett might guide us through the live streaming light. See, bright and light. We got that. Today, as we gaze into the future of art and AI part 2, we'll ponder, is an AI picture worth 1,000 words? Will it boost or hinder human creativity? Is it great or just for the birds? See, Brian, I got and Josh, words and birds, I got that. You'll see examples of stunning AI art from 4 futurists whose creativity sets them apart. Wave when I call your name. Mary Nunaley is here with fire in her eyes, a champion of innovation and play, leading the Lavender Dragon team, lighting up our way. A master of design, she creates learning courses that inspire. With her boundless energy and passion, her creations reach higher and higher. Mary, do you like that? Oh, good. She's on mute. Good. We got the thumbs up. There we go. Brian W. Sykes. We got to put that W in there on the screen. Dubbed the AI catalyst and AI whisper. With much acclaim, advocates for AI's potential in creativity's vivid flame. See, there's acclaim and flame, Brian. I did that for you.
Nice.
Founder of the A.I. Lab, he educates and inspires, empowering innovative minds as AI's possibilities he admires. There you go,
Nice.
Brian. Thank you very much. Josh Cavalier is back. He's in an airport. We'll hear from him between mute buttons. Seasoned expert in learning and development, harnesses ChatGPT and AI with a fervent commitment, development and commitment. It's a little weak, Josh, but I tried. On YouTube and on his Brain Power show, sharing vast insight, he guides us through the wonders of generative AI's might. I got that one. There you go. Welcome back,
Love it,
Josh.
Bonnie. Thank you.
Thank you, love. I called him love, dear, I meant to say. Adriana Rapolla is here, change manager with an artistic soul. She navigates the intersection of transformation and AI's role. Her journey of reinvention is a testament to her drive, exploring the evolution of AI art, where she shows us how to thrive. I hope you like that, Adriana.
Fabulous.
Good. Thank you. I read the poems. We'll talk afterwards. We'll negotiate. As Bonnie D, that's me, steers us into the fusion of art and AI, you may smile or you may sigh. Join us now, audience dear, as we ponder what's in store on Technology Revolution. We're knocking at future's door. What do you think? Pretty cool?
pretty good.
Very cool.
Pretty
I
good.
like it. I like it.
Okay, it's similar to the one I did last time when you were all on, but I tweaked it, so I wanted to be updated. Okay, let's go around the table. Brief bios. Mary Nunaley, I'm putting you on speaker view, dear. Please, you and I are in touch often. We're doing another spin-off show. Well, not a spin-off. We're doing a little show called TOO, Two Saucy Dames We Dish, talking about life and art and movies and wacky headlines and what's new. So, Mary, why don't you give everybody an update, please? Welcome.
Sure. So, for those who've never tuned in before, I'm the co-founder of the Lavender Dragon team. We're an instructional design agency. I've recently become a member of the Red Hat Society, and so I wear red hats and purple clothes, and so it just kind of fits with who I am. And just got asked by our local Chamber of Commerce to do a Chamber University session next month on AI basics. So I'm excited about that, prepping for what to teach our local business community.
That's lovely. Mary, I never asked you, does the dragon behind you have a name?
Yes, but he won't let me share it.
Okay.
He's very private.
Is it a trade secret? Did you all hear that? Did you hear that thing in her voice? He's very private. Did you hear this? This is real. Mary, this is a side of you that 1,000 times you've been on my show. This is a side of you we've never seen before. Okay,
Yes.
well, we'll just, you know what? Anybody who wants to send me, you can email me at bonnieradio@gmail, nominations for the name of Mary Lavender Dragon. And we'll
If
see
you know anything about dragons, you'll understand dragons are very, very private.
I didn't know that. That eye that's peeking behind you is glaring at us, so I didn't think it was that. All right, we'll take it from there. Thank you. Let's go around the table. Brian W. Sykes, talk to me. Welcome back. What's new? Tell us about your book. Welcome,
Well,
Brian.
thank you, Bonnie. I released, as you mentioned, a book. It's actually my 6th book in the whole process of writing over the past 2 years on AI. But it's Mid-Journey, Back to Basics, Beginner's Guide. And this actually came from a conversation I was having following one of my connections at the Creative Verse that I spoke at this year. He said, Brian, I love what you're doing, but you're like on Pluto. The rest of us are still on Earth trying to figure out how to get around. So you got to do something simpler. You're over our heads. He said, why don't you do something, go back to basics. And so I said, okay, that's what I'll do. So this is people who are just kind of jumping into AI, trying to understand how to do this thing. My first book is Mid-Journey, and it's a deep dive. And even though it's back to basics, you finish this book, you're going to know your way around comfortably with everything you can do in Mid-Journey. So that's my first one. My next, I'm probably going to jump into some other AI platforms and kind of do the same thing, is help people figure out how to make their way with this stuff.
Absolutely lovely. The world needs help. Thank you so much. We need to know how to navigate if we choose to navigate. Isn't that right, Brian? And
Yeah,
it's fun learning
sure.
along the way. Yeah. And Mary, I was going to say congratulations to you on your gig with the Chamber of Commerce. That's really cool that people are asking. That people are asking about it. That's the cool thing here, that they want to know. We got to get rid of the fear, right? And rid of the doom and gloom and make it opportunities and benefits and excitement. I'm allowed to say that because it's my show. Thank you very much, Brian. Congrats on the book. I use
Thanks.
Night Cafe Studio. You know that. I'm not a Mid-Journey user, but I love my Night Cafe, and you and I'll have a conversation about that some. And this is one of my dystopian backgrounds I did in Night Cafe, and I added the text. And you can see where it says Technology Revolution. It's over a bunch of nonsense letters that Night Cafe plugged into that orange banner. So I put in Photoshop. I embellished. There we go. Josh Cavalier is in an airport. We want to know. Can you tell us where you are and where you're going or not? Go ahead, Josh.
I can. I am currently in Charlotte, North Carolina, on my way to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So long trip, but I'm off to do what I do best, which is deliver generative AI workshops. So that is what I'm going to be doing. Again, I have just really kind of just jumped into the space in the last 2 years, but I have been in learning and development for the last 30 years. And as founder of joshcavalier.ai, I help spin up AI in learning and development departments. And so that is keeping me really busy. I do a lot of conference speaking, keynotes nowadays, and just having fun talking about AI.
I would love to sit next to you on an airplane, Josh, and learn get the short version, the elevator pitch, if you will, as the plane is taking off on what you do. Very, very interesting. Riyadh, how many hours are you going to be flying? Can you tell us?
13.
Oh, I won't even take a hop and skip here from Tennessee up to New York anymore. So I'll let you all do the traveling. That's fine. Wonderful, Josh. And I want a special thank you to you, Josh, for being on the show while you're traveling. I appreciate that.
Oh,
We all
it is my
appreciate that.
pleasure. I love having the conversation and dialogue and platform, Bonnie. Thank you.
Oh, well, you're very welcome. I thank you. And you thank me, and I thank you. Adriana has been traveling the world. We got travelers here. We've got educators here. We've got inspirational, innovative creators here. Adriana, I'm delighted to have you back on the show. Please give us an update what you've been up to. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, traveling a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm in Tennessee as well this week. So, even though I'm from Texas, but yeah, traveling a lot over the summer. Have a couple of clients close to New York. So I have been exploring museums and same in Europe. Went to Greece and Turkey and France, and so I spent some time in Paris and again studying museums, going around. Studying artists, starting to see the things that I hadn't seen before, because now you use AI, you see how things come out when you use certain things. So you're doing some diligent work, taking notes about the artwork that I like and the artists that I like and the influences that I want to use in my art. So yeah, it's been an interesting learning curve this summer with that.
Very interesting. And you told me you went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Any specific artist jumped out at you, literally?
Oh my gosh, it's hard to pick one because there are so many great artists. Actually, not at the Met, but I did spend a couple of days in France at the Louvre, and one artist that actually grabbed my attention was Odilon Redon. I knew him and I knew his work, but I have never seen in person his decorative panels. And the Louvre has an incredible collection. And boy, I am so inspired by him. I am absolutely inspired by him. And we show the art. I will show you some that is inspired of his own art.
That's interesting, because one of the concerns, I believe, in the art world, in the writing world, in any creative world, is that AI is using models, it's using language and pictures and images and music that it does or doesn't have a right to use, but it's modeling on its intelligence. It's gathered generative ideas from something that already happened, that other people did or created. Very interesting. And it's nice to know that artists like Adriana who are using AI are still inspired by human artists, by the art lore, by that. And she is looking and being inspired and taking it into her brain, into her hands, and then using it to influence as a muse her own art. That's why I like this way of approaching the topic, because I'm not talking to the machines, I'm talking to real people. What are you doing? What would you like to show? How do you want your art to be? Enough about me. Quick, I have a couple of quotes from some famous artists about art, and I just want to read these, and then we'll get into the opening quotes. We'll make this fast so we can do the art. So Vincent van Gogh said, according to somebody who thinks they quoted him, "I am seeking, I am striving, I am in it with all my heart." That's about his art. Here's one from Edward Hopper. "If I could say it in words, there would be no reason to paint." Isn't that interesting? Because we use text prompts in AI. If I could say it with words, there we go. Pablo Picasso, "Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life." I thought that was beautiful. We have one from Pete Mondrian. "The position of the artist is humble. He," I'm going to say, or she, "is essentially a channel." I believe that. Francis Bacon wrote, "The job of the artist is always to deepen the mystery." Art and beauty are in the eye of the beholder. And Auguste Rodin, the thinker, le penseur, "The main thing is to be moved, to love, to hope, to tremble, to live." There you go. Okay, so let's quickly do our opening quotes. And two of our panelists have picked quotes from Dr. Strangelove. So I'm only going to read the background. I know, Josh, Mary beat you to it. What can I say? So group captain Lionel Mandrake, played by Peter Sellers, who played 3 roles in the movie. Dr. Strangelove, 1964 political satire, black comedy film. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Co-written, produced, directed by Stanley Kubrick. It concerns an unhinged U.S. Air Force general who orders a preemptive nuclear attack on the Soviet Union. I'm just going to let that go. It's considered one of the best comedies ever made, Mary and Josh, one of the greatest films of all time. It made the 1998 American Film Institute's Best American Movies list at number 26, and it was AFI's 2000 number 3 of the funniest American films. There you go. Peter Sellers plays Group Captain Lionel Mandrake. He plays U.S. President Merkin Muffley and Dr. Strangelove, Nee Merkwerg Okay, Mary's laughing at me. Mary picked this quote, but how is it possible for this thing to be triggered automatically and at the same time impossible to trigger? Mary, help us out here. What does this have to do with AI art? Like we can't figure it out. Go ahead, Mary.
I was going to say that one just really summed up AI art for me because you'll put in a prompt and you don't get anywhere close to what you had in your mind of what you were looking for. And then you put in something else that has no bearing on what you're doing, and you get this fabulous creation. And so when I was thinking about some quotes for this, I just thought that really summed up the whole AI world right now, especially when it comes to art. And when I saw that Josh sent a Dr. Strangelove quote too, I immediately went, I can't believe we both picked the same film.
Yeah, Mary is usually out there on a limb with her own Doctor Who, and we don't usually get people who see the same types of films. So, Mary, I must say you're in good company with
Thank you.
There you go. I'm doing the research. I'm saying, what? I got 2 movies from Dr. Strangelove. I'm only going to put this in the notes once. So it says, see Mary. Okay, there we go. Thank you. The quote is phenomenal. It's right on target. Brian W. Sykes has picked a quote from Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Tim Allen. Toy Story, 1995 computer animated comedy film. Buzz is a fictional toy space ranger with a capital S and a capital R, superhero and action figure with Sheriff Woody. He's one of 2 lead characters in all 4 Toy Story movies. Buzz Lightyear is Woody's rival and later becomes his bestie. There you go. And the movie features music by Randy Newman. Does it get any better than that? Voices of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, the late great Wallace Shawn, love him, and all kinds of John Ratzenberger, Jim Varney, Annie Potts, people I don't even know, and Laureen Metcalf. I know that name. So here we go. And by the way, the line I'm about to read that Brian has selected is used on t-shirts, and it's used by mathematical theorists, and a book about the history of infinity from 1991, 4 years before the movie, by Eli Mayor uses the title. And the line is, to infinity and beyond. Brian, talk to us. How'd you find this?
Oh, of course, this is just, one of those standards in children's lore with movies. This was one of the first movies that came out that was computer generated, which was pretty phenomenal of its time. But the line stands, and it's such a testament to the idea of, human integrity and human ingenuity, the idea of, we're not just going to push the bounds of what's possible, but we're going to go beyond. And I think this is what's really interesting. I keep telling people, AI is an amplifier. So it just takes what you are and it goes to the next level. So this is a good fit for what we're trying to accomplish with AI.
Thank you very much. There's hope in there, isn't there, Brian? There's hope.
Oh,
there's
for sure.
Anticipation. There's excitement. There's dreaming. There's musing. There's what can be possible.
That's right.
I'll just say that. Yes, thank you. Josh has picked, as we said, another quote from, but in this one, Peter Sellers is playing President Merkin Muffley. Oh, I love that name. Of course, Dr. Strangelove, 1964. And I'm just going to read the quote. Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room. It's a great, I found the clip. Josh. So what does this have to do with our topic? Josh Cavalier, unmute, please. Go.
Yes, I think, when it comes to AI, you need to be pragmatic. And first, I cannot believe that since 1964, there's been maybe 50,000 popular movies, and Mary and I picked the same movie. I don't know what the odds are of that. But the humor in that gets down to there needs to be a balance out there in the marketplace in regards to the thoughts behind the artists and their intentions and the work that they have done, and then these models that are breaking boundaries in regards to creativity. And my hope is that if we are in the war room, that clear heads prevail, and that there is a balance to be struck between the needs of the creatives, and then also for individuals who don't know how to create, the opportunity to actually do something and contribute using AI.
Thank you. Very, very well put. You all, I think, have heard the story that I was excoriated. I was almost destroyed by an artist who designs book covers, who asked me for a logo he was going to design. He asked me for an idea of what I was interested in for a company I was going to create that hasn't happened yet. And I used, Brian and I went into my night cafe and I just created a little snippet of what I thought it might look like. And I sent it to him. Well, all hell broke loose. The things he accused me of. You are destroying me, my profession. I am never talking to you again. How dare you? You have insulted me to the core. It was an eye opener for me because I never intended to offend him, but I'm not an artist. He asked me for an idea. I used a tool. I didn't intend to insult anyone. It was just if I had taken something in pencil and pen and put it on a piece of paper, it wouldn't have made any sense because it wouldn't have looked like anything. So we parted ways, but it was and he also was very upset with me for using ChatGPT. He thought that was something that lazy people do. Thank you very much. He will remain nameless. And I still love my opening poems that I, the human being, edit after ChatGPT gives it me. Right, Mary? We always edit our poems. There you go. She's being very lavender today. Let's go to Adriana's quote. This is from Professor Robert Langdon, played by Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is all over the place here today on the show. The movie is Angels and Demons, 2009, a little more modern than Strangelove, mystery thriller film. It's based on Dan Brown's 2000 novel. It's a sequel to the Da Vinci Code. Tom Hanks reprises his role as Professor Robert Langdon, a CERN CERN scientist. Blah, 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 blah. Film grossed $485 million, the ninth highest grossing film of 2009, and they considered it an improvement over its predecessor. And I don't have much about the story here, but here's the quote she picked. You can't live your life in fear. Life is about making choices. And sometimes those choices lead to places we never imagined we'd go. Beautiful quote. Adriana, tell me a little bit about the movie, please.
Oh, well, the movie is fantastic. I love the trilogy, but this was my favorite. So I watched it several times. And, what grabbed me about this quote is what you were just telling about. I mean, I have had the same experience a couple of times now, more than a couple of times, actually. I do things with ChatGPT, I do things with Claude, I do things with, all the AI image creation software that I use, and people have accused me of plagiarism, have accused me of destroying their professions. I've been accused of a bunch of stuff, and so though these people are living in fear. They don't understand how the world is moving forward without them, and so when I heard this quote, I was like, oh. This is, for me, it just reflected this, right? What they're feeling. They're just living in fear and not making the choice to move forward. So
thank you very much. Very interesting. So you've had the same experience I did, but you had it as a real artist. I had it as just somebody who was dabbling and coming up with an idea for something. Very interesting. That's why one of the reasons I don't do doom and gloom and the world is ending and AI is going to eat us up all alive and we won't have any. I know, Mary, and it'll be the dragon's lavender world. I don't know. But that's why I don't want to do that, because I don't want to live in that fear sphere, that framework of fear. That's why you're all here, to show us what you're doing and help us enjoy the ideas, the innovation, the creativity, the muses, and the beauty of what you're doing. And I think it's very beautiful. On that note, we are now, and my engineer Jordan said, I can't wait to see the art. So there you go. And Mary is ready. Mary, sharing is on. Why don't you share and tell us, what are you showing us? Go ahead, Mary, and explain.
Sure. So can you see the screen?
Yes, 3 pictures, and narrate, I meant, instead of explain. Please narrate.
Yes. Okay. So you may have associated me with purple and or lavender. And so I have been going down this rabbit hole of studies in lavender and purple. So I'm going to quickly share 5 images with you. And these were also all created in Night Cafe Studio, which is my favorite AI creation tool, just because I've got so many different models to work with. So the first image on the left is kind of a sci-fi fantasy. I'm a big fan of J.R.R. Tolkien, lots of dragons, lots of hobbits. So I wanted to kind of recreate that world, but focusing on the purple. And so there's a whole series of images here, and this one is my favorite, but you notice that there's a mountaintop and there's some nice cloud coverage. And again, this is not something that I could have probably ever created by myself by painting or something. The next one in the middle.
Mary, wait, before you go on, can you give us a clue as to what the prompt was for that? Do you have
Sure.
that?
So the prompt
Please.
was to create a mountainscape scene where dwarfs, elves, and trolls, focusing on the color purple. So again, this was my favorite image. There's the other images in the series have more dwarves and trolls and elves in them, but I just really like the serenity of this with the mountaintop. It leaves a little bit more to my imagination.
Thank you. Go ahead. Go for the next one.
Sure. So the middle one is actually part of a group that I belong to that once a week we get a play date prompt. And so this was to work with pastels and to create a mythical world looking through the window. And so again, I altered the prompt a little bit with a focus on purples, but we're looking out the window at this whole universe in front of us. And again, this is one of a series, but I really like the interplay of the planets and the kind of like mountainous areas, thinking, oh, I could step right out of that window and pull my chair out and read a good book. I'm assuming that the environment is breathable air. So that's kind of it's my world. That's my assumption there. But again, I love the balance between the pastels in this one and the more vibrant colors that you see setting up against each side of it.
And Mary, I love the welcoming of the window of that step. It's not a deep dive. It's not a steep descent into the world or a step up. You can just step off, I think, into something.
Yes.
I don't know how firm the terra is on the other side. Brian, any Adriana, Josh, anybody want to make any comment on this beautiful image Mary created? Anybody?
They're great. I like the creative expression that's kind of put there. I love that, she got to bring in her personality into what she's creating. So that's another one of the fun things about AI, of course.
Thank you.
I love the celestial bodies that you can see, close and far away. That's really cool because it's something, that we, don't see that way here, right? In our world. So I love that.
Thank you.
Josh, anything you want to?
Yeah, I love the depth of field in each of the items there.
Very nice, cool. Mary. You got a lot of thumbs up from the gallery, and I already told you I loved it. Mary, what's the third one? Talk to us.
So the third one is again part of our Playdate group, and this was a more modernistic prompt. So we are in a different part of my world, and now we've got these vibrant colors, these giant plants, these fairly large butterflies. But as you can see, it sort of all ties everything together. We're world building right now.
Very, very nice. Any comments on this one? I love it looks like lily pads and toadstools, and I'm not sure what they are, but I would love to walk through that as long as is that water, the blue, or it's not?
It is. The blue is water. It's a stream. And again, we're playing off of that whole red and purple theme that I've been really focused on of late.
And the butterflies are so lovely, say spring to me. Is that a building, a castle in the background?
It is. There's a castle in the background.
Very nice. Anybody want to go play in this scape that Mary's got? Josh wants to play. Brian, any comments from you?
I have to agree with Josh's statement earlier, the depth of field, because that's really what adds so much to what's happening here. And it's an interesting juxtaposition of ideas. I love it.
Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, Mary. You want to relinquish the share? Oh, you got more. Oh,
well, just going, very quick. We're still in our world here. But you wanted to see, because, it wouldn't be Mary if there wasn't a dragon. And so if you think to that first world that I showed, now we're getting a little bit closer dive. And here's the king of the hill here with the baby dragons floating around. And we've got our nice little moon up here. And then here is Mary, the dragon tamer.
Whoa, let that sink in, everybody. Mary, the dragon. Aren't you formidable? And wait a minute, there's a red dragon in addition to a purple. Are they
There is a red dragon and a purple. This is part of the
friend or foe? Friend or foe?
They're friends, but this was part of the thing that I was working on for my red hat thing too. So my red hat name is Mischief of Mayhem, Tamer of Dragons, and so here I am.
I love it. Adriana, you want to comment on this, or Brian or Josh? Anybody? I'd love to go ahead, Brian.
This is great. I like the dragons and that you got multiple happening in the same. This is brilliant.
Thank you.
And there's so many shades of purple and lavender on the left one. I want to know if a gardener wanted to create some of that brush on the lower left of the left one, Mary. Is there a name for the plants that you are invoking in these?
So I was actually playing off lavender plants, but
Huh?
the AI kind of went and did their own thing. Like I've had the opportunity to go to some lavender fields in Utah, and it was amazing. And so I love looking at fresh lavender.
Very pretty. I'm looking for my landscaper to bring me some ground cover. Maybe I'll show her this and say, "Can you get this for me in real time, please?" Thank you, Mary. That
You're
everybody give
welcome.
Mary a round of applause. The lavender dragon. You tamed the dragon. That was lovely, Mary. And we've
Thank
got
you.
Brian is up next. Brian, go ahead and share, please. Can't wait.
Okay, let's see if I can find how to actually get my thing to show up here.
Okay. Hit share and then navigate.
Let's see.
There we go.
And if I can get my Acrobat to pull up. All right. I don't know
You
if this
did.
is showing up for you guys, but here we
Yes.
go. So this is the book that I just released. And again, it's Mid-Journey Back to Basics, Beginner's Guide. And Bonnie, you asked if I would share some of the pictures from this book.
Yes.
So inside, I've got a few of the different pictures. And as I'm kind of going through showing these, I want to walk you through a actual chapter in the book. And the first is, it's chapter 4 or 5, and I talk about it's called Learn to Describe. So, Mary, much like you were describing, the elements that you wanted to include, I tell people to start with a summary, have a core idea that you're trying to convey, and that's where we begin the whole process. And then to that, there are what I call 12 elements that make up a picture. And so as we're kind of flipping through these, I'm going to tell you, kind of what those core elements are. So I've got this pulled up on my phone so I can kind of go through this without having to try to get it from memory and get it wrong. But the 12 elements, you start with a subject, who is the primary thing, whether it's a person, an animal, or whatever, it's going to be something that's your primary thing. And then the action or the activity that has taken place in your storyline. Next is the setting, which is going to be the environment or the context in which the subject and the activity is all taking place. Then you've got lighting and atmosphere. Which is, of course, this is where you get to play with where the light's coming from, what time of day it is, where the placement of subjects is going to be taking place. And so all of that comes into play. Next is composition. And this is one of those things that Midjourney and some of the early AI had trouble with, of composing things because it didn't understand left and right and above and below. But now they're getting a little bit better with this. But so composition is basically how you're going to arrange elements in your visual. Then you have medium, which is the physical or artistic medium, whether it's a photograph or illustration. Those come into play into what you're trying to compose. Next is style, number 7. This is the overall aesthetic or visual styling of the image. It can be realistic, abstract, naturalistic, surreal. So this is where knowing your art history really comes into play because you use this terminology to make your images come to life. Next is angle or perspective. And so you got to think in relation to a photograph, where was the picture taken? Or if it's a visual, where are you in relation to what you're seeing? So you have to kind of position technically the AI camera in place. So this can be whether it's, a drone view or worm's eye view or whatever. Next is the time period. And this is going to be whether it's historical or cultural context for the image. Number 10 is feeling. So you want to convey the idea of emotions and putting a sense behind the thing that you're trying to create. Number 11 is orientation. So your aspect ratio plays a huge role in telling the story. If it's a wide image versus a tall image or square, you get a whole different dynamic of what you're trying to create. And then the last in the whole collection is knots. And this is something that's actually really important in AI. We had to do this with ChatGPT, is telling it the things we don't want it to do, because otherwise it's a wide open playing field. So if we narrow down the focus, we can start getting much better results and be able to fine tune the direction we want to take things. And so the creative possibilities with AI are pretty amazing. And this is actually from that lesson of Describe. This is an AI generated image. But what's fascinating about this is this was spurned by a photograph that I saw, a little bitty photograph of a girl dancing in front of a painting of a ballerina. So going through that process of what I just explained, we're able to recreate that with AI. And so whether it's bringing historical context images, monsters from the deep, AI is really wide open field. So that's all the different things I had to share.
Well, don't go away.
Okay.
Breathless, absolutely. Can you go back a couple to the man who is all Keep going. Back, back, back. Two more. One more. One more. That's it. What? Go back one. Go forward one more. That. How did you create this? Can you give us the prompt for this? I'm so intrigued by this, Brian. It's gorgeous.
Sure. So I was playing around with the idea of some pastel style art. And what I had to do was I played around until I got this kind of look that I was after. And the beauty with Midjourney, particularly, is you can use what's called a style reference. So once you create a style that you like, you can then take that image and bring it over and use it as a reference image that kind of prompts the visual direction of a thing. So this is actual, if you notice, the guy's bald with a beard. So the reference is going to be me. You had a couple images in here where I'm pulling myself in as the primary character. But what's fun with this is this image without that style reference and without the details that create that pastel, you end up with what looks more like a photograph of a person sitting in front of a computer. But by playing with the styles, the mediums that you're going to work with, bringing in that style reference of the artwork, we're able to quickly transpose it into something totally new and unique.
He's almost sheer. I have a question from Jordan, our engineer. He said, are all the people, including the little girl in the ballet dancing museum picture, are the people AI generated or are they pictures of real people?
They're all AI generated.
Thank you. I told Jordan that, but I wanted you to validate that. Brian, thank you. This was instructive and exciting. Congratulations on the book. Thank you so much. And you stop sharing, and we've got Josh ready to. That was lovely. That was such a vast array of styles. And I've never heard the lesson put out exactly that way. When you got to the knots, I was saying to myself, is he tying a fishing line or something? And then I realized it was N-O-T. I do know.
N-O-T-S, yeah.
That's like when I'm looking for words in Wordle. And I say, I want a 5-letter word that starts with A that does not include E, and it doesn't know. It just doesn't know not to include. Anyway, thank you very much. Josh, we're ready, Mr. Traveler. Go ahead.
Oh, I just love following Brian so much.
I know you do.
A part of the work that I do is to tell the story about how AI functions. And I want to give you a little bit of context on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things that I do is talk about new applications that come out that are AI based. And Google came out with a brand new video editing tool called Google Vids. And I want to go ahead and tell the story about this new tool. And so I needed some type of content for this video that I wanted to create automatically, right? So I'm going to go ahead and first show you my process of that, getting those ideas and then getting to the prompts. And then I'll show you what Midjourney created with the prompts that AI created. All right. So that's the context. Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you.
So I need a list of innovative products that can be used for camping. The audience are individuals who enjoy outdoors but prefer glamping or glamour camping. And it came up with a whole bunch of ideas. I went with number 1, solar-powered portable espresso machine. Let's roll with it. I love number 1. Act like a product marketing manager and come up with the sales copy to convert a sale on Amazon because I need descriptive language about this product. And so it went in and created all these titles and all this information about the product. Now, in Claude, there's these artifacts that come up and they have all these details that are in here, which is pretty amazing. So I have all these details with this customer review, and that's all going to be part of the prompt. And then the next prompt is act like an industrial designer based upon the description of the Solar Brew Luxe portable espresso machine. Come up with a detailed visual description of the product. Now we're starting to build the foundation for these prompts. And so now it went in and it created this whole entire description of the product. Reusable stainless steel coffee capsule has minimalist design, micro perforations, compact tamper, right? So it gives me all these details. Then I finally get to the good stuff. Right down here. Here we go. You're an expert in creating Midjourney prompts. I need 4 different prompts that will create the following: a product shot on a white background, the product next to a rock near a fire, a happy camper using the product, and the product stored in a backpack. And sure enough, Claude goes in and creates these prompts for me right here. And you can see them. The happy camper, smiling camper in a high-end outdoor gear, operating a sleek green and metal cylindrical espresso machine. You get the idea, right? Well, let's see the images. So now I just grabbed those prompts. I didn't change them, and I ran them through Midjourney. So here's our outdoor espresso, solar, and you can see the different product shots that are here.
Beautiful. Sleek.
What I love about this is, in my career, I have bumped up against industrial designers, and I know what it takes to actually come up with a unique or original idea. And what's fascinating about this is how you can leverage AI to spur that creativity. Even with a product that's fictitious, like there could be ideas that are within here that could actually be used for a real world product, which is fascinating. So there's a white background. Okay, now we get into the camping environment.
Ooh.
You can see it next to the fire. I don't know if that's a pretty small fire, but you get the idea. So
Beautiful. Mary's wondering where the lavender dragon is coming up by the campsite.
Yes, I could prompt that in the background. Not a problem.
It's gorgeous.
So you can see
these are phenomenal, Josh.
Stunning. Josh, just study the sleek. Oh, there's our happy camper.
Yep, there's our happy campers with
Who
the
looks
product.
like he's on fire.
Well, that was a hopefully yellow tent. I thought the same thing.
That's a tent in the background.
Yeah, but kind of just looks like he's on fire.
He's glowing. He's glowing. We don't know what he put in the coffee.
Right.
These are great. And these were for one of your clients, Josh?
No, this was actually, I wanted to create assets to demonstrate this new video product from Google. So actually, ironically, I was so happy with these assets here. When I went to go ahead and test the product, it failed. Like it didn't work. So I could never create my video about this product. But the Mid-Journey artwork was absolutely amazing.
And could you mentioned Claude, and some people watching and listening may not know that Claude is another LLM, large language model, that you could use instead of Gemini, instead of ChatGPT.
Yes.
Who is the maker or founder or daddy of Claude?
That's right. That's Anthropic, and the current model is Anthropic Claude Sonnet 3.5, which does an amazing job when it comes to writing, thus gravitating towards it to use it to write the prompts, to write the descriptive language for it. And you can just tell by the results here, without even changing the prompts, that I'm getting a good start to this product.
Phenomenal. Josh, you have given us entree to the complexity of using these tools for something as intricate, if I can say that, as a product development and product promotion, with examples of what it would look like and who might use it. I'm very impressed. Brian, anything you want to say, or Mary or Adriana? Adriana, you're next, so we're going to get ready for you. We got plenty of time. Anybody want to comment? Brian, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I love this, Josh. This is fantastic. And something, dealing with professionals on the creative sect is when you create something like this, it's not done. The beauty is we can go into Photoshop, like this picture right here. I could select that cylinder for the pot, and then literally tell Photoshop to recreate the image and actually give it a reference image of the exact one we're looking for. So maybe Stanley wants to create some new product shots. They could do that easily using existing images from Midjourney. So this is just a part of that creative process. It's wonderful.
It is wonderful. And the complexity of what you described, Josh, but I'm amazed at how you're harnessing so many different types of tools to get this done. First of all, your imagination on what your goal was to begin with is the starting point. You're a human. You're a person. You didn't say, tell me something I'm going to do because I'm bored today and it's raining outside. You came to it with the goal. So we've got very human elements. That's what I'm trying to convey. Mary, anything you want to say, or Adriana, before we move on? Josh, this was wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just the humans have gotten so much better. And that was also really impressive. I mean, even just 6 months ago, those humans would have had extra limbs or third eyes or whatever.
Yes.
And then I
was going to ask.
I was going to say, yeah. So the quality is just stunning, and it's just mind-boggling.
Accurate. It's accurate.
Yeah. And that's it. To me, it's just mind-boggling in how such a short period of time.
Yeah,
relatively speaking, the models have improved so much that now you're getting like graphic artist, professional photographer quality human images.
And that's why Jordan, our engineer, asked if these were real people or AI, because they look so real. Adriana, thank you, Josh. This is lovely. And to do this in an airport, I'm very, very impressed and very grateful to you. So thank you. Adriana, we're ready for you. The share is open. I know you've got some phenomenal pictures to go.
Yes, here we go. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep. Oh,
So I'm very much into the visual arts, and so unlike Josh that creates with all the background, and I create my own prompts. I don't ask, even though I use Claude a lot at work for writing. I create the prompts myself, and like I say, I was super inspired by a lot of artists that I studied over the summer. This is Odilon Redon influence, and you know what's funny? At the beginning, I did not want to prompt it too specific. So I went with, give me a decorative panel in the style of Odilon Redon with warm colors. And this is what it gave me. This is what it gave me from that. It was, it gives you a series of, but they were very similar. And I loved it. So then I started playing with it, changing, to cool colors, telling, include a tree, include some birds, put some more flowers. And so, I'm truly happy with some of the things that came out of that simple prompt at the beginning, and then the thing that came out after. So Mid-Journey here. This is actually very much, I think, similar or a little bit similar to the style that you were talking with the picture earlier. From Brian, and so I really liked the style, and I'd saved the prompt because I use it later on with some other subjects, different subjects, but I really like the style that came out here just with the descriptions that I was trying. So this is an interesting one. I read a line of a poetry that did not talk about buildings, did not talk about people, it was just very, I don't have the poetry, the line in front of me, and of course I don't remember it. But it was a line of a poetry, and for some reason, I had my image generator, by the way, I use Tengar a lot. So I had Tengar open in my phone. I was like, I'm going to try this line here. It's a poetry line, and this is what it gave me. It was amazing because I didn't do any description. I didn't say to include people or buildings or all I gave it was a style. I wanted it, in kind of an oil painting with impasto. So I say, I want a painting, this way, and this is what I got, and I was super happy with it. Here, the influence of Kehinde Whiteley. If you guys don't know who he is, he's a modern artist. I think he painted the portrait of President Obama and Michelle Obama. So I happened to go to a museum, and I saw I saw this one at the Met. Actually, you were asking about the influence at the Met. So I saw some of his paintings at the Met, and I thought, oh, what an amazing, artist. And so I decided to give it a try. And I got some amazing images. So these two are, some of my favorites.
Breathtaking, Adriana. They're everybody is, we're all like, that was my reaction was, okay, can I still talk? No. Wow. Keep going, Adriana. We have time.
Okay. These are more my traditional images, somewhat similar to the one that I showed the previous show. I like depicting women. I like depicting flowers. And someone actually accused me of all my images of women look the same because they are all, had dark, long hair. And so I started thinking, right, it's not that I went for that on purpose. It's just, I am actually half Italian, half Lebanese. And so, of course, artists, we all, a little through what they say, we're constantly doing, our own portraits, right? So I tend to describe the women as Italian Lebanese with long, dark hair. Of course, my dark hair now is kind of white, but it was very dark before it turned white. So yeah, that's why most of my women look the same. So I started actually playing with different races. I stopped doing that when someone brought up that all my characters look the same, and I said, okay, Asian and and then Indian, and I started playing with different characters. But I continue to use the prompts around flowers and around beautiful places. So yeah, this is more my traditional images that I started with when I started this journey.
Any more? Yeah, keep going. A few more minutes.
So, Bonnie, last time you accused me of not having any variety.
Well, they're all gorgeous. I just wanted to see some more of your still lifes rather than people
Yeah,
lives.
you went there in my social media, and I saw a whole bunch of stuff that I hadn't shown the previous
Yeah,
show. So I
yeah.
decided to put a little bit of variety here. So I play with a lot of stuff. I spend so much time in creating images. So so I have a niece that loves cats. So I'm always creating cats
Aw.
images of cats for her. I like flowers, so I'm always experimenting with flowers and
Beautiful.
the different backgrounds, and I also like pretty houses. So I have a whole collection of beautiful houses, pretty houses that I create. And again, it's interesting to learn the styles. This was, I think, New Orleans style. I described some New Orleans style, but you learn about architecture, you learn about styles, and then don't realize until you start using those on the prompt the variety of things that you can create. So I've gone through the whole gamut that you can imagine on Victorian houses and Mediterranean houses and modern houses, and so I have a whole collection on that.
Lovely.
And then lastly, I was using all those backgrounds that come with Zoom and Teams and those products, and I realized, and sometimes we were in meetings and half a dozen people have the same background. So I thought, how boring! I need to create some backgrounds. I need to create some of my own backgrounds, and so that's how this came there. So the one that I have behind me I created, of course. This is another one that I use. And this is one of my favorites, actually, that I also use a lot. I love the look of the window and the library, very traditional kind of thing. So those are my own backgrounds for my Zoom meetings.
Thank you very much. Just absolutely gorgeous, Adriana. Thank you so much. If you stop sharing, I'll go. There we go. Back to gallery. I have some very simplistic AI art. I just wanted to show you. I found a prompt somebody had used on Night Cafe, and it was create a moonscape out of oil, water, soap, and tinsel. And I put it into Night Cafe, and this is what I got. But I said, add red lipsticks. That's my chair. Red lipsticks and a red microphone. Then I went into Photoshop and I added I downloaded a graphic of lips. There was the title of my other show. But I want to show you all that I also was creating. This is interesting. I created Show Me a Redhead. Those are jewels for her eyes, not real. Show me a redhead with red lipstick and red glasses and dark red hair. This is just a close-up. And what I do is I print them out on 8.5 by 11 clear acetate film. We used to use them in AVs, if anybody remembers those days. Hello, Mary might remember, I don't know. And then I run down the hall to my art studio and I put it face down on a piece of 12-inch cardstock, white 12-inch. And then I rub on the back of it to transfer, and it comes out like a tracing. And then I embellish it with paints, with glitter, and with jewels, and with acrylic. And I've done a couple more. Here's one. This woman has beautiful blue jewel eyes. Those are paste on plastic jewels and a microphone. That I have a gentleman who has red hair, and these are hanging in the salon where I have my hair done in here in Loudon in Tellico Village, Tennessee. But she was a wild redhead. So I give it prompts on what kind of people I want, and then I paint in between the lines and I make them customized. And I thought you would all get a kick out of those. So I add the colors and I bring them quote unquote to life. And that's what I do. So that's a lot of fun. And I'm going to go back to my regular background here, the one with it where you could read the background. We have about 3 minutes left. I am so impressed with each of you, with all of you. I am grateful that you shared your heart, your soul of what you do. We have seen amazing art. I'm getting comments from Jordan here. This is cool. I love this. Is this real? Yes, yes, yes. And I imagine that's what the viewers are saying as well. I would like you all to come back. I usually do a crystal ball prediction show. Mary knows about that, where I invite everybody who's been on the show for the whole year to come and do 3-minute predictions. But I would like to do an end of the year art retrospective in AI. Would the 4 of you love to come back? I use the word love rather than want, or like hint, hint, pulling the strings here. Yes, Bonnie. I would like to do that. And it doesn't have to be holiday art. It could just be anything. But let's do this again. You each had, I think, plenty of time to show your art. We weren't in a hurry. We had the quotes, and I thought it went really, really well. I am very, very honored to have the four of you as my colleagues and my friends here on Technology Revolution, the Future of Now. And we're just going to wave goodbye. Oh, we have another minute or so. Anybody want to make a quick comment on what's next? Brian, you wrote the book on Midjourney. Anything what's next? And can anybody just pick up Midjourney and go in and start creating? Is it that easy?
Yeah, well, with the book, it'll lay it out pretty simply. I start simple so that you go step by step. And I try to create the lessons so that you can spend about 15 minutes to do a deep dive and learning how to do something. So yeah, wrap up the book and you'll be able to make good headway with it.
There's a book pitch, which we never do on my shows, but I wanted to honor you, Brian W. Sykes. We've got to put the W in. Josh Cavalier, safe trip. Mary, keep the dragons flowing. You're going to be on my show again. We're doing something tomorrow, you and I. Adriana, beyond gorgeous. I want everybody to put up your finger. We're going to say on the count of three, no, no, no. Join me. People say the future is already here, and our answer is 1, 2, 3. Yell it out. No,
no.
Oh, lots of no's. That's because that was yesterday's future. That was the future of when I said that sentence, and now it's in the past. We're going to all do our best to make it a more interesting, more creative, more innovative, more beautiful future. Bonnie D signing off. Don't go away. Guess I want to take pictures. Everybody wave goodbye. Wave goodbye to LinkedIn. Wave goodbye to Facebook. Wave goodbye to YouTube. And Jordan, are we out?
All clear. Great show.
Oh,